Creating an effective storyboard that will guide the development of an e-learning course takes thought and organization. But it's not rocket surgery, or rocket science. When you understand the subject matter and what you'd like to do with it, all you need is a step-by-step guide of how to get started. Step 1 is to define specific, measurable learning objectives for your training. These are the key elements in developing the course storyboard, which will then be needed to guide the programming of the course. Usually, one learning objective corresponds to a lesson or a chapter in an e-learning course. One way to approach defining these learning objectives is to use Robert Mager's ABCD model. This model is made up of 4 elements. A represents audience. Describe who your learners are. An audience description can cover things like job classifications, titles, education levels, and so on. Examples could be new employees, safety officers, or registered nurses. B stands for behavior. What do you want the learners to do after they've completed the training? This should be a demonstrable, observable behavior. C stands for condition. Describe how the learning will occur. What resources are given to the learner to help facilitate their understanding of the topic? When we write our learning objective, the condition often is the first element listed in the objective. The last element of the ABCD model is D, which stands for degree. List your expectations in a measurable way, which can later be used to assess your audience's learning. In an e-learning course, this often means a test. Using the ABCD steps together, an objective for training a department supervisor on understanding a safety policy may be something like using the current safety policy as the condition or resource provided. The audience is supervisors. The expected learned behavior is will be able to identify the safety violation shown in a series of images. And the degree or level of understanding is 100% of the time. In Step 2, you'll create the storyboard beginning with assembling the content needed to support the learning objectives from Step 1. This content is usually pulled from existing policies, procedures, and standards, as well as people who understand the topic. We call these people subject matter experts, or SMEs. Next, lay out the content in a logical order on the storyboard document. We use a 4-column format with cells containing the scene number, any text and visual content, the narration or audio to be used, and any other comments or instructions that would be helpful in designing and programming the course. If Rivertown Communications is assisting with your project, steps 1 and 2 become easier. Our instructional designer will work with your SME to define the learning objectives and will create the storyboard. Step 3. The review. The completed storyboard is now returned to the SME for a final review to verify that all content is included and is correct, that the learning objectives are covered, and all specified images are effective. This is critical because once the storyboard is passed to the developers, programming begins. Changes now become time-consuming and costly. With a final approved storyboard, the instructional design process is complete. The storyboard is now passed to the developers to begin programming the module. Rivertown Communications can help your organization with all your e-learning and training needs. Contact us at any time.